Girlfriend pick him out for you?
Come on, give me a break.
Honestly, I was fat until I got older anyway.
Right.
I was. Jelly Joiner, they used to call me. Not for long, though.
Would you expect me to believe that you were the school bully?
Beard, mate. I was beard. How about you, Jen?
Oh, girls are different, more subtle usually, cutting you out, not being friends. But I did get chunks chopped out of my hair by 3 other girls, but I got my own back.
How?
How are you at school?
I really don't talk about it.
Morning.
What do you say? Raj?
Memos from above, re-overtime allocations.
Thank you.
There's Matt. Big night out with his new friend.
Maybe.
Did you see his face yesterday? What a cack.
Yeah, you nailed him.
Yeah, I certainly did.
What?
I'll hold it there and you get the scissors.
The brainiacs and the maniacs, we call them.
Muscles between their ears, Tom borrows, and he's the mob.
Oh, come on. You're always dumping on the bigger kids. Bit of athletic ability and a bit of a physique. Straight away, they're the bullies and the morons.
It's a culture here. Bullying.
Oh, crap, Lindley.
If we cop our fair share too, I regularly get shoulder charged in the corridor. Accident, miss. Sorry, miss.
Yeah, but you lay a finger, get stuck in verbally, you're up for suspensions, hearings.
And they know it, and they use it.
And there's the girls. Blouses unbuttoned down to here, skirts up to here. You say something, says, oh, so you're having a look, are you, sir? Don't say anything, they pop another button. It's a minefield.
That's why I pulled you up before with Caitlin. You made reference to her physicality. Big no-no.
Like I said, minefield.
Oh, for goodness sake. It's not that bad.
Yes, it is. Half the time we don't know what's going on. Fear keeps the kids' mouths shut and the system keeps our hands tied.
That's not fair, Peter. This school's no worse than any other.
No? We just found a 14-year-old hanging in the toilet.
Tell them what happened to Mary Carmichael. And Brian.
That's enough. Don't start that again.
Mr. Mansour? Who's Brian?
Nobody. None of this has anything to do with what happened to Grant Barclay.
We can make that determination. Who are they talking about?
Brian Sturtevant, a maths teacher. He's left the school now, resigned.
And Mary Carmichael?
She's on sick leave. Perry replaced her as Grant Barclay's year advisor.
And you don't think that you should have told us that, given the circumstances?
I'm sure you must realise I've been very busy. Meeting with the parents, the school council. There's a lot of concern.
Sick leave. So where do we find Miss Carmichael?
It was an accident in my chemistry class. I mixed the wrong compounds and the next thing I knew, I was on the floor screaming.
You seem pretty sure it was an accident.
I am. There's no other explanation.
What does a year advisor do?
Anything from student welfare to health and safety, arranging counselling.
Did you ever have any approaches by a kid called Grant Barclay?
No. I only ever spoke to him a couple of times.
What about?
I was concerned some of the other kids might be giving him a hard time.
And were they?
He said he was fine. He said he liked to keep himself to himself.
And you believed him?
I wasn't sure, but if they won't say anything, it's hard sometimes.
What about Brian Sturtevant? Now, he left the school recently. Did he know the boy?
You'd need to speak to the principal about that.
Why?
I really can't talk about it.
Miss Carmichael, this is a murder inquiry. Grant Barclay is dead.
I still don't see how this is relevant.
It got relevant the second you decided not to tell us about it.
Mr. Mansour, first we hear that the dead boy was bullied. Now we hear that Brian Sturtevant, a teacher, was intimidated into leaving the school.
And we see that as a link. We work out that link and we're a step closer to finding out who murdered that boy.
Running a school is 90% politics. Keep the ship steady, minimise damage.
We're not interested in the politics, we're interested in the truth.
Brian Sturtevant wasn't physically intimidated. I'd call it a smear campaign if it had been a lie. Unfortunately, it was the truth that was used against him. There were some compromising photos. They were sent to my personal email. Brian was clearly identifiable. I had no choice but to dismiss him.
Did Assad Mansour manage to trace the source of the email?
He said he tried, but he couldn't. It had been somehow routed to a surrogate source. He copied these, then deleted them. Damage control. Caitlin, the girl he was photographed with, is undergoing counselling. She's the one who found the dead boy's body.
And according to Miss Carmichael, she's also Tom Burrows' girlfriend.
Not anymore, I'd reckon.
Hardly surprising.
What is surprising is the fact that Mansour thought none of this had any bearing on the case.
Surprising or suspicious?
Oh, neither. Employing a teacher like Sturtevant doesn't reflect well on Mansour, does it?
Well, he should have reported it to police as soon as he got the photos. And how can he be certain that a kiss is as far as it went with Caitlin and Sturtevant?
And firstly, he said that Sturtevant resigned, and then he said he sacked him, so which is it?
No, I don't buy it. Mansour isn't dodgy. He's just worried about keeping his school out of the papers and protecting his backside.
OK, I will speak to Caitlin again and get her version of the affair.
Grant Barkley was a computer geek, well capable of scrambling source information. What if he sent these?
Where can we find this Brian Sturtevant?
Garden maintenance. Landscaper. Beats teaching. I'm glad to be out of it. Not like you had a choice, did you?
We know about the relationship you have with the student, Mr. Sturtevant. Ask me, you were lucky not to do time in prison.
It wasn't a relationship. That was a mistake. I let my guard down and she knew exactly how to get the sucker punch in, believe me.
What, she came onto you, did she?
Have you met Caitlin? She's not exactly shy about flashing it.
And that's an excuse.
No. There is no excuse. I was stupid.
And then you got caught. Did you find out who sent the pictures?
No, I didn't try.
Why not? You just lost your job. That must have made you angry.
I was only angry with myself. Now, I'm philosophical. Yeah, teaching sucks to dry and getting sacked was probably the best thing that could have happened to me.
Sounds like a pretty convenient rationalisation, Mr. Sturtevant.
Yeah, I am just telling you like it is.
All right, well, why don't you tell us where you were the night before last? Between 11 and 3 a.m. in the morning.
I was at the pub after footy training with witnesses. And then a poker game till about 4 in the morning. What is this about anyway?
One thing's confirmed.
What's that?
Sturtevant's a creep.
He admitted to the affair with Caitlin, but he's got an alibi for the night Grant Barkley died. What was the girl's take on it?
Parents wouldn't let me re-interview her, saying she was too traumatised. There is one relationship we haven't looked into yet.
Which one's that?
You and your new friend.
That's not up for discussion.
Her name's Emma.
How long's Emma been on the scene? Oh, Matty, come on. I think it's great. A girlfriend is a good thing.
Yeah, and there's an exclusion zone for you, mate. It's 50 metres, no closer.
Come on! She got any hot friends?
Hey, boys, heads up. Waverley alert.
Senior Sergeant Wolfe, does anyone know where he is?
Afraid not, ma'am. We just got back in. Anything we can help you with?
The child's death at the school. What's the progress on the investigation?
We're still interviewing witnesses and following up a number of leads.
I asked for progress, not process, Detective.
Nothing concrete yet, ma'am.
Right, thank you. I'll ask Senior Sergeant Wolfe to call me the minute he gets back, will you?
Thanks for helping me out there.
All good practice for when you become Sarge, Matty.
Dead end, huh?
Yep. How about you? Anything interesting?
Actually, I do have something that might cheer you up. Missed it till just before. See this? Woofer. It's the dead kid, Barkley. Bad pun?
So, who's winning?
Well, Foz. Barkley has the next move, except the game's irrelevant. It's actually a front for this cute little somersaulting dog.
What the hell is that?
That is a hit list.
Brian Sturtevant was forced to leave the school.
Payback.
Bet he's got an alibi.
Caitlin Brentford was outed for having a fling with a teacher.
But she's not strong enough to have killed Grant Barkley, not the way it was done. This guy is. Tom Burrows could have hauled him up.
Yeah, and both he and Caitlin were humiliated by the photos.
Well, maybe they got together. The ex-girlfriend lured the kid into the trap for Tom.
This teacher, Mary Carmichael, hurt in a classroom accident. What did she do to upset Grant Barkley?
Yeah, we don't know.
We do know Pete Minotti's generally disliked by the students. He's got a pretty short fuse, blows up at them on a regular basis. He's a shoo-in for inclusion on the list.
But he does not have a tick.
And he won't be getting one either now that Barkley's dead.
What, so you think Grant Barkley got tired of being a victim and decided to get his own back?
Exactly.
You're saying this could have been deliberate?
Is it possible that someone could have switched the compounds in those bottles?
Of course it's possible, but why would someone want to do this?
We think it was Grant Barkley. Any reason he'd have a grudge against you?
Grant wasn't even in my class. What you're saying is absurd. I have a rapport with my students. We get on.
You said you spoke to Grant about being bullied. Now, how did you find out about that? Did he come to you?
No. His friend did, Hayden Fosdyke. They call him Foz. He confided in me and asked me if I could have a word with Grant.
What about?
He said he was worried about him. I followed it up. When nothing came of it, Hayden was really apologetic. He bought me chocolates. Well, I couldn't accept them, of course.
Do you think he might have had a crush on you?
No. Hayden's a strange kid. The only thing he really seems interested in is chess.
What about Grant? How was he with you?
Just normal. A lot of kids get crushes on teachers. I've had flowers turn up on my desk. But Grant... No, I never got that vibe from him.
And no reason to think that you might have upset him or offended him in some way?
No, of course not. Grant was a good kid.
Is there anyone you can think of who he might have had problems with?
Tom Burrows. Tom was always giving Grant a hard time. And Caitlin was always teasing him, like sexy stuff.
Grant thought he might catch them having sex, get them both in trouble. But he caught her and Mr. Sturtevant instead.
I think he hoped that us manure
You mean
mates...
Mr. Mansell?
Yeah. That he'd expel Caitlin. And then it would all come out. Tom would look like a real loser. Ditched for a teacher.
We warned Grant there'd be trouble.
But he still sent the email.
So why didn't you guys speak to a teacher about this?
We were scared.
I spoke to Miss Carmichael. I told her that I thought Grant was having problems.
Do you think that was enough?
What were we supposed to do? Tom Burrows was still at school. We knew if he sussed out who'd done it, he'd go psycho.
Was he aware who'd taken the photos? Sent the email?
But yeah, you'll have to ask him that.
It was Grant Barkley who sent those photos. You kidding?
The kid's got balls as big as his brains in.
Why'd he say that?
Well, he would have known if I found out, and I would...
Did you find out, Tom?
No.
You sure? Where were you the night before last?
I was at home on my Xbox. Just ask my parents, I'll tell you.
We spoke to Tom Burrows' parents. They confirm he was home all night when Grant Barkley died. He was in his bedroom on his Xbox.
Oh, they could be lying, protecting their kid.
No, I can't see it. They seem genuine to me, so?
As far as I could tell.
Plus, the dad turned on the house alarm early because he knew no one was going out.
Odds on Tom knows the access code, so maybe he switched it off and slipped out without them knowing, just like Grant Barkley did.
Yeah, and if he did leave the house, how do we get him to admit that?
Find something to pressure him with?
But as far as we know, everyone of interest has an alibi.
Looks that way.
Then we are missing something.
We never really worked out why Grant Barkley was in his school uniform when he was found.
So he went back to school later that night in his school uniform. Is that somehow relevant?
And what about the note, I'm sorry?
Sorry for killing myself, that's the usual go.
But he didn't kill himself, did he? Whoever did attach that note to him, why?
To make it look like suicide.
Or because they really knew that he had something to be sorry about. Like what?
We're going to have to start from scratch. Go over everything we have done so far.
Senior Sergeant, a word. I found this joint in my son's bedroom last night.
You're telling me this because you think it may have something to do with Grant Barkley's murder?
Perhaps. Obliquely. I don't know. According to Josh, there's a flourishing drug trade at that school.
He told you that?
Not exactly, but I'm reading between the lines.
What did he tell you exactly?
As little as possible. I know he bought the joint from somebody at the school. He wouldn't give a name. But I've seen the investigation reports. Martin Price, the cleaner, 2 convictions for trafficking.
If there are drugs at the school, quite possible he could be behind it.
Stanley, I don't want Josh's name to come up in this. He's already been kicked out of one school.
I'll do what I can, but the investigation takes precedence.
No, I mean it. Please keep him out of it.
I mean it. I'll do what I can, but the homicide investigation comes first.
I told you I'm not dealing anymore. drugs